Hey everyone! Today we are going to continue talking about choosing a place to live. Yesterday we read article number 1 or lesson number 3 of Unique Learning Systems called Choosing a Place to Live. If you want to reread the article, you can watch my video from May 11th, or you can log into your student login and read May lesson number 3, Choosing a Place to Live. I sent you a couple forms along with your packet. They look like this, the Living Option Research Form, and like this, Living Options Questions. We're going to look at those on my screen in just a minute here, and we're going to practice filling out the Living Option Research Form together. So today we're going to be talking about researching a place to live. And when we're doing research, it means that we are trying to answer a question. So your objective for today is to ask a question about a living option in your community. So ask a question about somewhere that you could live in your community. And remember, when we're asking questions, we're thinking about those things that we need and those things that we want. So ask questions about what kind of help you can get, how much it costs, what kind of neighborhood it's in. Think of all those different things that you might need and want. I'm going to get rid of this objective here because I want to show you a couple of resources before we start looking at our forms. I will put links to these on our Facebook page. We've got SiouxFallsHousing.org. If you are interested in living in Sioux Falls, you should visit this page as soon as you get a chance. There are a lot of different housing programs in Sioux Falls. I'm going to click on housing programs and show you the one that a lot of people use, and it is called the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher. A Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher is something that allows you to choose where to live. So a rental unit of your choice, as long as the location and the property management meet certain criteria. So if you are interested in choosing a place to live and think that you might need some help paying for where you live or might need to pay a lower amount for rent, what you can do now is apply. See down here it says that an application for placement on the waiting list can be picked up at the office of Sioux Falls Housing and Redevelopment during their office hours, or what you can do right now is call them at this number 605-332-0704 and get an application packet. I don't believe it says what the waiting list is on here, but it can range from 3 to 7 years. So if you're interested in moving within the next few years, you really want to get on that waiting list now. There are a lot of other great resources on this website, and there are a lot of other housing programs, some that you might be eligible for that would be good to check out. If you'd like me to help you, just let me know. All right, I'm going to close Sioux Falls Housing and show you what we're going to use for our research today. We're going to use ahs.org, and that stands for Affordable Housing Solutions. Affordable means that you can pay, you have enough money to pay for where you live. So it's not going to cost a lot of money. And what we'll do here is go click on housing. And today we're researching living options that are for rent right now. And we're going to click on for rent, and you can see we have a whole bunch of apartments here. So we're going to come back and look at these in just a little bit. Before we do that, I want to show you this website. This is an important thing that you need to think about when you're looking for somewhere to live. Can I get the help I need there? Some of you have family support already, and family support is one option you have to get services. A lot of the times, family support will also work with community support providers like Lifescape to provide services to you. Another option you would have is called Choices, and I have this brochure here that I can give you a copy of or send a copy of. I'll include that in my links list here. But this Choices brochure lists the same thing as the website, and this is all the community-based service providers. Choices is a Medicaid waiver. It's similar to family support, but it means that you would be able to get services from one of these providers depending on where you want to live. So when we think about location, where you want to live, that's something that you're going to have to think about when you're looking at providers. And when you think about what your needs are, what do you need and what do you want? Do you need medical care? Do you want roommates? Do you want to live with 1 or 2 people or 5 or 6 people? Do you want to live with family? All of those things are things you have to ask and answer before you decide. But you have a lot of community support provider options in the state of South Dakota. You can see here, this is the brochure, but on the Department of Human Services website, there's also a list with their websites. You can look at websites to research information about the community support providers. There are also phone numbers you can call and directors. So whether you're looking on the website or looking at the brochure, which explains the waiver and what it helps with, you have the option of all these different providers. And some of these providers have their own housing options as well. So you might want to talk to them to see what they have available if you're going to need help every day in your home. If you look around here, I'm going to look for places that might be close to some of our students. There's Advance in Brookings. If you live north of Sioux Falls, Advance might be closer for you. Another closer location in Sioux Falls, we have Dakota Abilities. Sioux Falls has Lifescape. We have some students who live closer to Mitchell. Mitchell has LifeQuest. If it's important for you to get those services, but you want to stay close to family, LifeQuest might be a good option. Then if you have family in other parts of the state, you might consider looking at some of these other places like North Hills Training Center in Spearfish or Black Hills Works in Rapid City. We look down here, you can see Sioux Falls also has Southeastern Directions for Life and Volunteers of America. So these are all different community support providers that can help you as an adult with your needs in your home, but they might also have some living options for you to explore. We're not going to look at those today unless we see them on our affordable housing list, which we might. So let's get back to our lesson from yesterday. I'm going to switch our screens here, and we're going to look at this living options list. You should have gotten a copy of this in the mail too, but these are all questions that you're going to want to ask when you're looking at different living options. You're going to want to know how much it will cost. That's why we're looking at those affordable housing options and why you might want to get on the list for a Section 8 voucher. You will want to know where the place is located. It's important to know that because if you need help, you're going to want to know what providers are available or what services are available. And that comes in down here with medicine and healthcare. You want to know what the neighborhood is like. Is it near a church that you might go to? Is it near appointments or where you work? Is it close to your family or friends? What activities are available? Some places have regular activities like bingo, or will take you to the grocery store. Some places don't do any activities in their buildings. If you live in a house or a home that's supported or staffed by a CSP or a community support provider like Lifescape or LifeQuest, a lot of times there are activities available in the home as well. How is medicine and healthcare provided? Are there staff on site, or do staff visit you once or twice a week? How are meals planned and served? Do you do your own shopping? Does someone take you shopping? Do you do your own cooking, or is food cooked and served to you? What kind of transportation is available? Are there staff that will give you a ride? A lot of apartment buildings have have trips a couple days a week to different places for some of their tenants that have disabilities or are senior citizens and need transportation. That's a really cool feature, and if that's something you want or need, that's something you need to ask. You might also need to know for transportation, is it close to a bus stop, or can I take a Lyft or an Uber from there? What other individuals live there? Will I have to share a room? Will I live with other people? Do I have to share a bathroom? Am I going to get along with those people? What are the rules about having visitors? What do people who live there say about the place? And how can my needs be met there? Now remember, when we talk about needs, if you have more needs, you might need more help. So that might mean we're looking at needs before we're looking at wants, but we can still think about what you want and what's important to you while we look at those things. So these are a lot of different questions that you can ask, and you just need to be able to ask one. But then I would challenge you to find the answer to one of those questions, either independently using the Affordable Housing Solutions website, which we're going to look at again in a minute, or with help. All right, we're going to fill out this living options research form. What is the name of the place you visited, called, or emailed? Well, I don't know yet. We're going to check. Let's look over at our apartment listing. So I'm going to look off screen here because my apartment listing is on my other screen. But this is a list of apartments for rent in Sioux Falls. The first apartment here is called Pettigrew Manor. And there's a lot of information about Pettigrew Manor. There's also an apartment, there's some nice pictures, Spring Center Apartments. Here, and I think we're gonna skip ahead and do one that's already constructed. Pettigrew Manor is a newer one. Spring Center Apartments, we're gonna look at for our research form. And our form asks us several questions. It asks, what is the name of the place you visited, called, or emailed? I'm going to see if I can set this up so I can do them both on the same screen for you guys. Just a second here. Okay, I got them both on the same screen. I think they're going to jump back and forth a little bit, but it will have to work for us here. So our living option research form, we know we're looking at Spring Center Apartments. So I'm going to type the name of the place, Spring Center Apartments. Then it asks, what is the contact information of the place you visited, called, or emailed? Now we're not going to visit because we're going to get all the information on their website. And because we're getting all the information on this website, I'm going to type that in so I know when I'm looking back at my notes where I got the info. Because when you're researching a place to live, you're probably not going to look at just one place. You're probably going to look at several places so you can find the place that best meets your wants and needs. So I'm on the website a-h-s.org, American, oh goodness, Affordable Housing Solutions. Phone number, there is not a phone number for Affordable Housing Solutions, and I don't see a phone number listed for Spring Center Apartments. I do see a phone number for Duluth Heights Apartments. Could we call that number to get information? No. So we'd have to try to find a phone number to get more info about the apartments. And I just noticed here that Spring Center is spelled differently than it is on the sign. So I'm going to change this, because what I will do is copy that address and Google to see where it's located. Let's see if we can get this over here. Not to see where it's located, excuse me, to see the phone number. So here we go. The address here is West 3rd Street. That's Spring Point. That is not the right apartments. Spring Center Apartments say South Spring Avenue. All right, we might have to do a little more research to find the phone number, so we're going to skip that for now. So because we're using a website for the phone number, we're going to type NA. That means not applicable, does not apply. We don't have a phone number. But we do want to put the address of the apartment in so we can check it out. And we're going to have to find a phone number eventually. And I'm going to do a little trick here on the address. I'm going to highlight it with my mouse and then right click and copy it and paste it right here. We also do not have an email address. So our research is not starting out great because there's some things we can't find, but we'll look. We will look and see if we can find that information elsewhere. All right. Then we have to select one question we're going to ask about our living option. And we're actually going to, let's see if I can scoot this over this way. We're going to ask a couple of questions so we can practice a little bit more research. I would like to know how much it will cost and where the place is located. I'd also like to see what kind of transportation is available. So let's check that out. We're going to look back over at our website to see how much it'll cost. And I'm going to expand this so we can see it a little bit better. Oh, that didn't really help anyway. How much will it cost? Okay, our Spring Center Apartments. We have the address here so we know where it is. But we'll look at that on the map in just a second here. In the description, it says that Spring Center is just 1 block west of Minnesota Avenue. It's near all the fun and activities in Sioux Falls' beautiful downtown. So Spring Center Apartments is by downtown Sioux Falls. That means your neighborhood has a grocery store. You'd be close to Sunshine. It means that you would also be close to the downtown library and several other cool locations to check out downtown. You're also going to be on a bus route. There are a lot of buses that run based out of the transfer station downtown. So we already learned about the location without even having to look up the address. The building was built in 2013, so it's about 7 years old. There are 2 community rooms. Community rooms are areas in your building that you can gather and visit or spend time with friends or family or do activities. And it has a play area for the kids. Do you have relatives or brothers or sisters that would like a place to play or hang out when they come visit you? Spring Center has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, so you could have a roommate. This tells you what's included with your rent. All your utilities, remember utilities meet our basic needs for heat, lights or electricity, water, and trash. So everything is included in rent. There are 2 laundry rooms. There's extra storage space available if you need it. The entrance is secure, so you have to use a key or a badge to get in, and there's an elevator. Do you need to live somewhere with an elevator, or can you do stairs? This says that the housing is crime-free and smoke-free. Those are some things we didn't really talk about. We didn't talk about the type of neighborhood, but it might be important to look at crime rates or if there are people that might put you at risk in your neighborhood. And then smoke-free. If you have health conditions or smoke bothers you, you don't like the smell, you're not going to want to live somewhere where your neighbors in the same building smoke. There's also places to park if you have a car, and there's a fenced playground. So this tells about income guidelines. Income guidelines just mean that you can't make more than this per year. So the apartments we're looking at have the income guidelines of up to $25,000. So if you're getting Social Security disability and not working, you're probably going to meet the lower income guidelines. But if you're working too, that your income might go up. So when we look at that, you can see the different options you might have. and then the different costs. So we asked a couple of different questions. I asked about the location, and we already found the answer for that. It is on a block west of Minnesota Avenue near downtown Sioux Falls. So we know it's near transportation, it's near the library and a grocery store. We asked about the cost, and here's the cost here. The cost ranges, it depends on your income and which apartment or unit you rent. And it looks like a 1-bedroom apartment, if you're living by yourself, can be $355 to $466 a month. If you're looking to live with a roommate or have 2 bedrooms, you're going to look at paying more, and even more for a 3-bedroom apartment. So we asked how much it cost, where it's located, and what kind of transportation is available. And I happen to know that because it's downtown, it's going to be near a lot of bus stops. We can click on the location map on the website to see exactly what it's by, and you can see it's right by First Christian Church. I'm going to just put the address in my browser here, and we'll look at the street view so we can see what the building looks like. And there you go. That looks like a pretty nice place, Spring Center Apartments. And this is just a block off of Minnesota Avenue, downtown. It's a newer location. And this way, on Google Earth, you can check out your whole neighborhood. You can see there are houses across the street. It's not a busy street. There aren't any stoplights, but there also aren't any crosswalks. Right here anyway, there are sidewalks. The cool thing with Google Earth is if you like to go for walks or if you want to explore the neighborhood, you can do that here and kind of walk around and see what you're close to. So what I challenge you to do is to ask one question about a place that you're interested in living, and then do some research or ask for some help researching to answer that question. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.